Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video I'm just going to be giving you a little update on my shrimp tank as well as a little lesson I've learned for the future. So to start off with, shrimp all doing really well. I'm happy with how they're all getting on. I started off, I bought 10 from a guy up in Wales and I believe he shipped me about 12, and now I'm not sure how many are in here today. But there's quite a few more than the 10, 12 I started off with, and there seems to be babies coming along. I can't see any little babies at the minute, but you can see there's some smaller shrimp. Obviously they were babies at one point. So yeah, they seem to be doing really well. And I put that down really to, I don't know if you can, well, you should be able to see, but the snail population I've got in here, I think this is something that really helps. I have a large population of ram's horn snails. I went for the red version. They don't look that red, but yeah, I went for the red version. I've got some big ram's horns like this one, as well as lots of little babies, and they all seem to be doing very well. I also put it down to sort of leaving this tank alone. Now, one thing, I've kept red cherry shrimp before, and I was treating them kind of like fish. So I was doing my weekly water changes, I was feeding daily, and I believe that this was just stressing them out. It was too much food for them. The water, maybe it wasn't the correct temperature when I was adding it in, so there was a lot of fluctuations in the temperature. So what I've tried to do this time is just try to leave them alone as much as possible. I've reduced feeding to 2, maybe 3 times a week. And they get a variety of different foods, some powder food for the babies, snowflake food for the bigger ones, and I've got a drawer full of different types of food. I try to keep it varied for them, and it seems to be doing well. I also don't put my hand in there, I don't mess about with anything that's going on in there. Water changes I try to keep down. I maybe do, I don't know, 1 water change a month, maybe 1 every 2 months, month and a half, something like that. So I really try to keep the water changes to a minimal, and I think they seem to be doing well. I obviously test the water still, tests are all still good, so I do keep an eye on the parameters just in case there's any fluctuations. I want to catch it before obviously I lose this colony. I try to keep a lot of wood in there for them because I know they like to graze on the wood, and I try to keep a lot of surface area in there. So you'll see I've got some at the back, I've got a big sponge filter there for them. I've got another dual sponge filter here for them, and you'll see that they like to sit on top because I've just fed them, so the little bits of food are sticking to the filters. I've got a couple of caves for them, some rocks, and then at the back there in a little bag is just a temporary some biological filtration temporarily, and that was because these guys came from a different tank. I did let this one cycle for around 2 months before adding them, but I just thought better be safe than sorry. I'll add the biological filtration in next to the sponge filter just to give them a hand, and yeah, it seems to have worked well. Now you may be asking, what's this? Now this is going to bring me on to my next little segment of mistakes, lessons I've learned, and that is duckweed. Now, duckweed, for those of you that don't know, it looks like this. These little bits here, this is all the duckweed. Now, some people love it, some people hate it. I was on the fence about it, so I thought I'll do my research, I'll have a look, and did my research, found quite a few people saying yeah, it grows quick, but as long as you keep on top of it, it's very beneficial for your tank. I thought, right, yeah, I can do that, no problem, I can keep on top of it. And yeah, 6 months later, I didn't keep on top of it, and the surface of the water was just absolutely covered in duckweed. It was out competing other plants, hence why my moss over here it's slowly making a recovery. You can see him starting to make a recovery, but yeah, this is dead. This needs to be removed just from lack of light. So I've tried my best. I spent maybe 2 hours 5 days ago to remove as much as I could, and then a couple of days ago I spent another hour just keep scooping it out, and it's still in there. You miss one piece, you come back a few days later and there's 10-20 pieces floating about, and it's just absolutely impossible to get to it. Now, I wouldn't recommend duckweed. That's my personal opinion. I won't ever go with duckweed again. Reasons being, it's absolutely messy. It sticks to the side of your glass, it gets on everything. When it dries up, it sort of dries hard on the side of your glass and looks an absolute mess. It outcompetes absolutely everything in your tank, for light, for nutrients. And one more issue I found is because I didn't keep on top of it, because I wasn't scooping it out regularly, the reason I wasn't doing that is for fear of removing babies. You'll find a lot of shrimp like to go up the top and sort of feed on the, I don't know if they're feeding or they're just hanging out, but they like to sit on the bottom of the duckweed. So when you're scooping, a lot of times you're going to remove babies, you're going to remove adults, and it's so difficult to remove it without getting any shrimp. So it's very hard. But what I found was, because it was such a thick layer at the top, if you see there the sponge filter, it was stopping or really slowing down the surface agitation that the sponge filter causes, which obviously in turn isn't allowing as much oxygen to be put into the water. Now I know floating plants do add their own oxygen into the water, but this was just a concern I had. I was worried that maybe there wasn't enough oxygen getting in the water. There definitely wasn't enough light. It made it very difficult to see the shrimp. I actually run 2 lights on top of this tank, and it was still difficult to see the shrimp that were in the tank. So yeah, I'm in the process currently of removing as much of that as I possibly can. But for those of you that have done it before, you'll know it's not as easy as it sounds. So that's basically it really. I keep leaves in there for Indian almond leaves, lots of wood for them to graze on, and feed them maybe 2 times, 3 times a week. And yeah, they seem to be doing really well. They seem to be happy. Floating plants, they're doing very well. I can't remember off the top of my head what these guys are called, but they're really taking off. One thing I am struggling with, which I'm surprised, I have pothos up here. Now, I read online pothos, the easy thing to keep, it'll grow in anything. Now it's really struggling. I mean, it took off when I first put it in, and then I just seem to get die off. I seem to have 2-3 leaves die. The plants start to go slow down in the growth, and at the minute they've just been stuck like that, 2 leaves now for about a month. There doesn't seem to be any growth. So I'm hoping with removing the duckweed from the water, that'll allow a few more nutrients to build up in the water, and allow the pothos to start to grow a little bit. Because I was really surprised. I mean, you see people with these tanks and they have pothos and it's just growing absolutely out of control. And I thought, brilliant, yeah, it's fantastic, cleaning the water, it's filtering the air, because obviously pothos filters some toxins out of the air. But no, it doesn't seem to have worked out that way for me. But anyway, yeah, really basic system. Couple of sponge filters, some wood for the shrimp, some gravel, some rocks for them to hide in. A heater right at the back there, you can just see behind the moss. It's just, where's my finger? Just there. Water change once every 1 or 2 months. And that's it. Just let them do their thing, and they seem to be doing really well. But like I said, if you are thinking about adding duckweed into your tank, my personal recommendation would be not to. I would avoid this stuff at all costs. If you do have any questions about anything in my tank, or anything I do, please feel free to leave a comment, and I'll get back to you if I can. And yeah, if you enjoy this video and you enjoy tank videos, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, thank you.